What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? What is up, hamburger life? I know it said I was starting in 70 minutes, but again, my computers are retarded, so it is what it is. Oh my goodness, they're not retarded. They're mentally disabled. They're retarded. It is what it is. What is up, Joe Schmo from Missoula, man? What's up, Roasted Scorpion? Who else we got here? Hamburger Life, what is up? Eyes open, what's up? If I don't see you, it's because this is moving very fast. I got 2 live streams going at the same time because I'm just that dumb. There is no T in Richie, but what's up? Nice. Top of the morning to you. What's the response? Tell me. I know you know. Michelle, you did finally get alive. We good? Audio's good? I got a lot of tabs open. I want to cover a lot of ground here. Plus, I got to go to a text because you guys are awesome. Subscribers are awesome because thank you, Hector. They sent me some information which made me have to do this entire video all over again. Now, it is 5:58 p.m. where I'm at right now, and I got up at 5 o'clock this morning. I worked on my truck, and I got the CV boot repaired on one side. And sadly, the boots that I used are very high performance, but they're not long endurance. Do you see what I'm saying? So chances are in 5,000 miles, I'm going to have to do this again. So that's awesome, but it is what it is. You know, you play stupid games and you absolutely win stupid prizes. What's up, Pixie Doodle? What's up, Bugs Bunny? Good name, man. Good name. Same to you, Joy. Thank you. That is quite the name. I'm hoping you're not a troll, but if you are, it is what it is. Every knee says Richie digressing here. Sweet. What's sweet? What's up, Raymond Harmon? And let me see if I got this one. 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗀, what's up, brother? Or ma'am, whatever. I am quite the mechanic. Yeah, I did pretty well today. A buddy of mine showed up at his shop, and it wasn't his day to work. He just had a baby, so it's 4 months old. So it was very cool of him to show up for me and let me use the shop. So that is done. I am out of here first thing in the morning. I've overstayed my welcome by 1 day, which I do not like doing, but it made sense because I'm going to check out first thing in the morning, go work on my it would just been too messy, way too messy. And check this out, because apparently this was quite the thing. Maybe I will. Did you see the light just go out? That was apparently a very big issue. People are like, Richie, when you said sexual predator or whatever I said, the light in the bathroom went out. Dude, it's a hotel. It's a light on a timer. It just went out now. You see what I mean? It's I find it funny. At any rate, let's get into this real quick because I got a lot of tabs open. Last time that did not work out very well for me. So let's see if we can get it to work out well now. All right. I just put this video up on Jailbreak Overlander, very much to the chagrin of my subscribers, and it's called MAGA. I was just going to name it MAGA and leave it like that. And the name of it is MAGA. You knew he was a snake the day you let him in. And the second I put it up, it got copyright struck. But here's what it looks like real quick.
This week, President Donald Trump vowed his administration will bolster artificial intelligence development nationwide. Some critics warn all the expected developments may be contributing to a clean energy nightmare. Part of the Trump administration's plan would potentially involve cutting back environmental regulations to rev up construction of AI supercomputers. These powerful computers are housed in large-scale data centers that require a lot of energy.
And what I did was I took a lot of video that I had taken myself, and then I just interjected all the information that's already coming out from all the states that are getting data centers forced on them, because they're using the data centers to not only build the end of humanity, because that's what these things are. According to them, that's what they're saying, and I have a tendency to believe them. But these data centers are not only that, they're also sucking up all the power and they're sucking up all the drinking water. So I figured I'd put a little video together and explain to people what it is they were seeing, even if they weren't seeing it yet. And I tried not to be too overbearing about it, but I think I get my point across.
Mom, I never understood what it's like for a losing man. When our number one song goes bad, playing cards with the devil's hand. Dad got so quick, his four walls never understood. But I was the one who got good with a gun, stealing money from the rich man's land. Give me some water, cause I shot a man on the Mexican border. Cool water.
You get the point. I wish there was a way when I pull this out. What's up, brother? What's up, homie? It's all good. I tried to make it as artistic as humanly possible, but I keep interjecting with throughout the entire video from states. Every state that has a data center installed in it right now is having a major crisis. It's in all their local newspapers, and the government's like, yeah, sucks for you, but we're trying to build the destruction of the human race like we keep telling you. And in order to do that, we have to take everything away from you, even the water in the ground. I mean, basic human rights. These people are sucking it up. And I find it funny that the World Economic Forum, they just went from Charles Schwab, the evil German bad guy in every movie we ever saw growing up, to the guy from Nestle with one eye, which is just the other evil guy from every movie we ever saw growing up. And if you recall, a decade ago, all of us were making videos about Nestle trying to privatize water because we use too much water. Yeah, we probably do use too much water, but it's none of their business. You know what I mean? It's none of their business. Doing SWAT raids and such on people that were actually saving and collecting rainwater. I mean, come on, man. These guys are absolutely crushing it right now. And nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to be aware of it. It isn't a topic. I meet a lot of people, and I've told you this before. I'll tell you this again. I don't run around. The government's controlling the weather and chemtrails and the moon's not real and you can't build a nuclear power plant up there. I don't say that stuff. I just talk to people like regular people, and that's it. If they happen to bring up something like, wow, they sure are spraying bad today, then you got to hit. Otherwise, you just sound like a crazy asshole. And I don't want to get into a bad mood dealing with somebody. You know, I met some people recently, and holy cow, make a movement. I did 48 states. I paid, you know how much money it cost me to go from state to state to state to state and meet up with people from every state off of the channel to try to make a movement. You know what happened? Nothing, because nobody can do it. You know, it's just, I don't know what else to say. I don't know. At any rate, let's keep moving on because there's a lot going on here, and talking about time speeding up, and then also talking about that movie War of the Worlds. Well, my subscribers came through big time, absolutely big time. Sadly, I don't remember who sent me this information, so I apologize, but it was my subscribers. If it was you, leave it in the comments. If it wasn't you, lie and leave it in the comments. No, I'm just kidding. Check this out. All right. This is a fun little story because, well, let's start with this. Do you remember when I told you that this whole Doge thing wasn't going to do anything whatsoever at all other than give the government all of your information, all the information that the government takes to keep track of people so they can tax you into oblivion for everything. You owe them 13 grand. You don't pay for 2 months. Cool. 25,000. Ask me how I know. Remember that? That just happened. Yeah, that was still real. This dude was allowed to literally hook up his AI supercomputer. You remember this guy? Elon Musk, right? Remember this guy? Him and Trump were best friends, and Elon told us years and years and years ago that AI is literally building the devil. He didn't say it like that, but I'm saying it like that. It's been a long day. I'm doing the best I can. This dude that warned us about AI and how it was going to absolutely decimate humanity, it would be uncontrollable, and he still says that to this day. Well, suddenly he comes in with Donald Trump, and they instantly hook up Doge and his supercomputer Grok and give it access to every single solitary thing that the CIA, NSA, White House, FBI, everyone else has been collecting on you every day, because free country, right? It's a free country. Pay up, but it's still a free country. They have absolutely every single solitary nook, cranny, crumb that they possibly need to do their new world order. And Elon Musk was a huge part of it, but the national debt still goes up. The national debt, according to recent audits of what the real national debt is, it's not even 37 trillion. It's like 151 trillion. So it's basically unrepayable. And they know that, and you know that, and I know that. So there we go. You see what I'm saying? But Elon's going to play a big part in this particular live stream as long as the creek don't rise and the good Lord's willing. But let's take a look at what Elon's been up to as of late, shall we? Let me see if I can pull this up for you, because this is a trip. I did not know this whatsoever at all. Stop screen share. Why is this so wonky? Or is it just me? Listen to this. I did not know this was a thing whatsoever at all. So listen to this.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I want to talk about this strange thing that Elon Musk has going on with the cartels and his relationship with 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗀𝗃 ex, and how 𝗦𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗃 ex has this relationship with 𝗦𝗵𝗵𝗿𝗂𝗃, who, as you know, is now married into the Soros family.
Yes, let me just clarify. First of all, I have this playing faster than 100% to avoid copyright shenanigans, just so the video doesn't get taken down. But you heard that right. Elon Musk is having a relationship with 𝗦𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗃's ex-girlfriend, as you're seeing right here. And he also has a relationship with the cartels. Now, that's something I've been explaining for a long, long time. These wealthy people are getting stupid rich by flooding our country with drugs. They've been doing it since Iran-Contra, probably before, but on that, I'll digress.
Back in 2018, July specifically, I wrote a blind item. Said over the past few months, I wrote about the wife of this infamous A-list drug dealer and her connections to the celebrity world in New York City, who think it is all fun and games and cocktail parties when they see her or interact with her. She's treated almost like a party favor rather than someone who has the ability and connections to do great harm. And that all changed this week. One of her relatives, who's now a very big deal in the drug world, needed some surgery a few months ago, life-saving surgery. Our wife reached out to those in the know, and this A-list anchor, who was the offspring of someone possibly even higher on the list, gave her a name of someone who could help. The relative used a fake name and came into the office with a security detachment of about a dozen people. The doctor was freaked out, but the next day performed the surgery with several security and scrubs also in the room. After the surgery, the doctor called a law enforcement friend and told him what was going on. The friend was on vacation, but said when he got back, he would look into it for the doctor. After a couple of days, the patient was discharged and flew back to his own country. Several days after that, the friend of the doctor came back from vacation and went to the office of the doctor. He saw pictures of the patient and knew who it was right away, a very wanted man. They tried to get the doctor to get the patient back in the States for a follow-up visit several times, but it never happened. A month later, the doctor was killed. Now, this celebrity wife is 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃. Then you have 𝗦𝗵𝗵𝗿𝗃𝗀𝗃, and then the person who gave the recommendation for the doctor was Anderson Cooper, whose mom is Gloria Vanderbilt. And the doctor is Dr. Mark Hausnecht. And he was, like I said, a month after this, killed. And the Houston police identified a suspect in the fatal drive-by bicycle shooting of Dr. Mark Hausnecht. He's a Houston cardiologist, or was, who was the personal doctor of President George H.W. Bush. And in a press conference, then Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo said the suspect, Joseph James Pappas, who was 65 years old, was wanted on an arrest warrant, was considered to be armed and dangerous. The official line from the police department was that Pappas's mother was once one of Hausnecht's patients and died during surgery more than 2 decades earlier. And the police said, oh, well, he shot the doctor out of retaliation. It appears to be a 20-year-old grudge this person held. The police chief said there was a lot of planning that went into this. There was a lot of planning and sadly some skill. And police received several tips that pointed towards 𝗵𝗂𝗋. Officers went looking for 𝗵𝗂𝗋, but they couldn't find him. They said the house had been cleared, but evidence had been obtained that tied the person to the crime, and we believe this is the person who did it. But he was missing. Now, 𝗏𝗂𝗋 was riding to work on his bicycle when he was shot by this other bicyclist who was going the opposite direction. Well, they found 𝗵𝗂𝗋, and they said while he was wearing a bulletproof vest, unalived himself in a residential area northwest of his Houston home. Shortly after, a city employee reported seeing 𝗵𝗂𝗋 and finding a wallet he'd left on the ground. 𝗵𝗂𝗋 was a former police officer.
Okay, how crazy is this? I mean, seriously, how crazy is this? The fact that Elon Musk even has a relationship that apparently can be discovered and podcasted about by this YouTuber, Crazy Days and Nights. I already left the link in the description, in the comment section. But he's also messing around with El Chapo's ex-girlfriend. Have you ever messed around with a bad guy's ex-girlfriend? They're never really exes. Do you see what I'm saying? So what is really going on here? This is an absolute, complete, and utter trip. But again, of course, George Herbert Walker Bush is involved somehow. It's crazy. And then a doctor helps somebody out and he gets hit. He gets killed by a drive-by bicycle shooting. You can't make this up. I mean, you can if you want, but no one would believe you.
They said that he painstakingly planned this for 20 years. He was also a real estate agent. Said that the potential threat to the city from this guy, considered armed and dangerous, is now over. And the heroic acts by frontline officers of the Houston Police Department. But they could not have succeeded in this case without information and support from members of the public. Said that 𝗵𝗂𝗋 followed 𝗏𝗂𝗋 as he pedaled to work. When the suspect rode past and turned around, ended the doctor's life. They said that they got this tip from a video that somebody recognized 𝗵𝗂𝗋 from this really grainy video. Okay? And one of the very interesting things about all this is that 𝗵𝗂𝗋 used a key, one that he had as a real estate agent, so he could go to different homes and stuff and just stay there while he was hiding out. But the police said, well, the key leaves an electronic footprint. We can tell you the key that he used the 4 times. We just didn't know when he used it. They said we checked the houses out. They wouldn't say which ones he visited, when he visited them, what he did there, whether anyone else was present at the time. And he had been a police officer for 30 years. And like I said, this doctor was the former cardiologist for George Bush. And when they...
So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to play this guy's entire video, but I will leave it in the description. I mean, in the comments right here. So, am I doing this right? Sorry. It's crazy. It's crazy that Elon is even involved in anything to do with the cartels, to the point where somebody that has a podcast can find it out and run it, which causes me to find out and run it. I mean, this is crazy, but we're not done with Elon as of yet. You know what I mean? So let's jump on this just real quick. I will get back to Elon, but I want to do this. I had this in an order. Isn't this fun? For whatever reason in the world, Donald Trump has deployed the National Guard and he's federalizing the DC police as a part of a crime fighting effort. And this all spawned from somebody from the White House or something getting beat up. One guy got beat up and magically, boom, that's it. We're going to deploy the National Guard and federalize DC police. Isn't that weird how many times since Trump's only been in office for 8 months, even though time is flying by, but isn't it weird that suddenly, magically, we've got National Guard in California. We've got National Guard everywhere because police can't handle anything anymore, even though nothing's changed. All the crime, they're not focusing. I mean, if somebody gets beat up, that's just a regular tax-paying citizen. Oh, well. Maybe they get a minute and 10 seconds on the nightly news because it's a good story. But somebody that is close to the White House or whatever gets beat up, allegedly. We don't even know if that's true. Boom, federalizes the police and the National Guard are coming in. This is what he's doing. This is his plan. In order to have a new world order, in order to have Agenda 2030, you got to burn everything down, flood everything, take away everybody's water out of their faucets so that they can feed this massive monster that is AI. And then, oh, well, shut up, pay your taxes, or we'll come knock on your door right away. Very important for us to knock on your door. very important to pay your taxes. It's beautiful taxes, beautiful country, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's ridiculous. It's almost comical, but it kind of isn't. You know what I mean? So there it is. All right, let me get rid of some of these things. Now, this is a trip. We were talking about time speeding up, okay? My microphone it's got 3 little legs, and one of them keeps sliding out, and it's really distracting me because I'm easily distracted, you know? Ooh, a squirrel. You see what I'm saying? All right, check this out. One of my subscribers sent me this via Facebook the other day, which Facebook is not a good way to get a hold of me at all. I rarely check it. I try to spend as minimal amount of time as I can looking at a screen, if humanly possible. See, it's moving. It's pissing me off, but whatever. All right, check this out. This is crazy. I didn't even know this was a thing, but look at this creepy, horrible thing right here.
Hello, I'm John Taylor, and this is the Corpus clock. It's just struck 3. We're in the workshop just outside Cambridge where it's being built. I'd like to show you something about it. So, where are the hands? I wanted to create a new and a different way of showing time. This is not a computer generation, but a true mechanical clock. The face of the clock depicts time as a wave coming out from the center of the universe. Every second runs round the dial, a pulse of light showing time racing away. To me, time passes slowly or more quickly depending on the circumstances. Time is relative. And as Einstein said, an hour sitting with a pretty girl passes like a minute, but a minute sitting on a hot stove seems like an hour. I wanted my clock to catch the observer's attention and to make them think. Its heritage stretches back nearly 300 years to John Harrison and his invention of the grasshopper escapement.
So take a look at that grasshopper. What a friendly looking grasshopper. I mean, it looks just like every grasshopper I've ever seen. You know what I mean? It's totally natural. Nothing to see here. Good to go. Here's a watch this. There you go. That's a grasshopper, according to them.
For the Corpus clock, I've enhanced the image of the grasshopper into a chronophage who munches a minute every 60 seconds. This escape wheel is 50 times larger than Harrison's original, but it works in the same way. It is controlled mechanically by the pallets, which are the legs of the chronophage. The time is displayed by a series of vernier slits and lenses, hours, minutes, and seconds. The time is 11 o'clock precisely.
Isn't that wonderful? And somebody already said it. Yes, that is the giant demonic locust of death, the locust from the pit, or whatever you want to call it. And it's also the time eater clock. That's what they call it, the time eater. Something that's somehow draining time away from us in some wonderful, magical, mystical way. And it's been around a long time. This thing's not new. I looked up everything I could to see who funded this and who it belongs to, but I had a hard time discovering that. But here is what I found. I can't stand all these pop-ups. Basically, if you ever want to find out anything conspiratorial, quote unquote, go to Atlas Obscura. I go there all the time. Cambridge, England. This numberless clock creates a meal of time for the dreaded insectile chronophage. That's straightforward. That's I mean, no big deal. That's normal. It creates a meal of time for the dreaded insectile chronophage, which would be this horrible thing right here with its reptilian eyes. I mean, are these the locusts from the pit? I mean, is that exactly what these happy little fellas are? And of course, they put it right on the corner of some sort of place in Britain, because that's how these people roll. Beautiful. Inaugurated in 2008. By Stephen Hawking. It's exact every 5th minute, which I don't know what that means. But I can't help but notice that this thing is even a thing, and we didn't know anything about it. But then it made me think of this thing right here, because apparently they've got a lot of these wacky clocks all over the earth, here, there, and everywhere. And you never hear about them unless some jerk off on YouTube like myself puts it up there. So let's talk about this one.
We're about to run out of time, which is a good time to ask about the 10,000-year clock.
Oh, I'm Jeff Bezos, and I'm being interviewed by this guy who is a complete and utter fraud. Look him up. I don't know where he popped up from, but he's one of the premier podcasters in the world. His entire background is a fraud, but on that, I will digress. But Jeff Bezos, let's talk about your 10,000-year clock. That's what crazy people do. You see what I'm saying? That's how they sound. How do I know? I was raised by crazy people.
Your clock. Yes. That's what I'm known for, is the humor. Can you explain what the 10,000-year clock is?
10,000-year clock is a physical clock of monumental scale. It's about 500 feet tall. It's inside a mountain in West Texas, in a chamber that's about 12 feet in diameter and 500 feet tall. 10,000-year clock is an idea conceived by a brilliant guy named Danny Hillis way back in the 80s. The idea is to build a clock as a symbol for long-term thinking. And you can just conceptually think of the 10,000-year clock as it ticks once a year, it chimes once every 100 years, and the cuckoo comes out once every 1,000 years. So it just sort of slows everything down. And it's a completely mechanical clock. It is designed to last 10,000 years with no human intervention. So the material choices and everything else. It's in a remote location, both to protect it, but also so that visitors have to make a pilgrimage. The idea is that over time, this will take hundreds of years, but over time, it will take on the patina of age. And then it will become a symbol for long-term thinking that will actually, hopefully, get humans to extend their thinking.
Okay,
horizons.
did you hear what he just said? Because he didn't say anything. Over time, it will take on the patina of years, and it'll get people thinking. That doesn't make any sense. I just thought I'd throw that in there real quick.
And in my view, that's really important as we have become, as a species, as a civilization, more powerful. We're really affecting the planet now. We're really affecting each other. We have weapons of mass destruction. We have all kinds of things where we can really hurt ourselves. And the problems we create can be so large. The unintended consequences of some of our actions, like climate change, putting carbon in the atmosphere is a perfect example. That's an unintended consequence of the Industrial Revolution. We've got a lot of benefits from it, but we've also got this side effect that is very detrimental. We need to start training ourselves to think longer term. Long-term thinking is a lever. You can literally solve problems if you think long-term that are
Okay,
impossible.
I can't listen to any more of this because none of what he's saying has anything to do in the world with why he has a 10,000-year clock monstrosity thing buried in a mountain that people have to make a pilgrimage to. It's a clock. It's a clock that some rich jerk-off built, and he's acting like it's, I don't even know what he's acting like. But let me remind you of one thing real quick. He said he's on that fraud guy who just popped out of nowhere, and now he's interviewing Donald Trump and Jeff Bezos and whoever else. He's from MIT. He's from there. He's a fraud. He's a complete and utter fraud. But that's neither here nor there. But in his video, He's the one that edited it in. He's talking to Jeff Bezos, and for some reason, he puts in a robot. No one was talking about a robot. So just keep that in mind. You see what I'm saying? But I couldn't help but notice that the more you start looking into it, there's a lot of really wacky, weird clocks hidden all over the earth that have nothing to do with anything. The one I showed you, the monster one with the monster, creepy reptile fish locust, is actually called the time eater. It's eating time. And who even knows what that 10,000 year clock is, because his explanation doesn't make any sense whatsoever at all. Well, he put a 10,000 year clock in the ground because, robots and nuclear war, which isn't real, but we don't care. We still say it because if we could do it, we would have done it. You'd see it by now, but you can't. So you don't. There it is. What the hell does that have to do with carbon? Do you know what I mean? What does that have to do with, our carbon emissions? There isn't enough carbon in the atmosphere because they're cutting everything down. And that's the result. That's the sum gain of literally clear cutting jungles, rainforests, and everything else. We're not making enough oxygen, and we don't have enough carbon. These guys are really, really doing this. So I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense or whatever. I don't know. But listen to this real quick, because this freaked me out. Because the other day I did a live stream and I was talking about War of the Worlds with Ice Cube, and I was correlating it. See how I just used the Jeff Bezos word? Oh, I'm fancy. I can get fancy with the words. Oh yeah. Never mind. If I have to tell you, it doesn't make any difference. I was tying in War of the Worlds suddenly popping up with Harvard and NASA suddenly saying that, we saw a little piece of static on a make-believe telescope. And then we figured out 3 days later that little piece of static was alien spaceship full of angry, hostile aliens that were going to be here November 2025. That's quite a jump. 3 days. Oh, there's a little thing, a little piece of static. Could be a meteor, could be anything. 3 days later, yep, that's pissed off aliens, and they'll be here at 6:45, November 15th, 2025. We figured that all in 3 days because we are the bomb. Because we have things like a 10,000 year clock, and that tells us that carbon. You see what I mean? Because that's what they're telling us. It doesn't make any sense. It's nonsensical. But listen to this real quick.
I tried to warn you of the threat. This invasion is the result of the surveillance industrial complex collecting massive amounts of data with the Goliath program. Our most precious resource on Earth is data. And data is food for the superior intelligence that invaded Earth. The government knew this would happen, and they activated Goliath anyway. If they locate Goliath and consume its data, the world will return to the Stone Age. The invaders won't stop until they have it all. It's too late now. The invaders won't stop until they have it all. The invaders won't stop until they have it all.
So yeah, I told you, I brought this up the other day. About them talking about aliens coming here. I found it really strange that I think pretty much the same week that they said, yep, they're hostile aliens. They'll be here in November. Magically, War of the Worlds 2025, something that's already been remade twice in my lifetime. Now it's been made a third time, and it looks like it was made with AI because it's the worst movie I ever saw, but the premise was crazy. And this thing called Goliath, I thought it was just completely made up until one of my subscribers hit me off again. And here is Goliath. And guess what it's part of? These beautiful new digital dollar system. It's a layer one blockchain specifically designed to meet the needs of financial institutions. Blah, 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 blah. 24,000 transactions per section. While its assertion highlights Goliath's potential capabilities, blah, 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 blah. This thing is real, and it's going to be an enormous part of the New World Order. Now, I'll leave you all this stuff, so if you guys are better at this stuff than I am, to look through it all the minutia of it, have at it. I don't have time for that because I'm I'm not home, and it's not my exact cup of tea, but it's just crazy to me that this is a real system and it's going to be part of the social credit system. And it'll be when the dollar won't collapse. The banks will get hacked. And we'll get into that too, because that's a big thing that's coming up. But yep. Does that look familiar? Do you like the little symbols on their Bitcoin there? Does anybody recognize that at all? Totally natural. Surely nobody that printed up all this information and put these things out even thought a thing of it. But I mean, wow. It reminds me of something Elon did when he was at the White House. Remember that time when he was just giving his heart to everyone? This is a trip, man. We're living in a cartoon. And I mean, it's getting pretty much real time now. You know what I'm saying? This is just everywhere. They don't even care, huh? Look at this. I didn't see this before I did this live stream. Oh my. Onyx Goliath. Goliath is here. And it's data. Data, because data is the most important thing in the world. Correct? Well, let me let you finish this real quick.
Digital sort of superintelligence is very much a double-edged sword. So it's if you have a genie that can grant you anything, that can also do anything, that necessarily presents a danger. And I would expect the first uses of AI to be, certainly the first government uses of AI to be weapons technology.
It just blows me away that this guy is lauded as a genius. He's a billionaire. He's the most innovative person in the world. We're going to Mars, electric cars, dating chicks from the ex-cartel members. I mean, this guy is just getting it all done for America. And every time I see him, he looks like a completely different person. And he's still a stuttering, mumbling, whatever he is. You know what I mean? I just find that odd. But here, let Elon finish explaining to you how easy and effective and fun AI is going to be once you're enslaved by it.
So just having more advanced weapons on the battlefield that can react faster than any human could. That's really what than any human could. More advanced weapons on the battlefield that can react faster than any human could. That's really what AI will be capable of. That's really what AI will be capable of. I mean, future wars between advanced countries, or at least countries that have significant drone capability, will be very much the drone wars. Mm-hmm. So the future wars are really going to be, and we're seeing a taste of that in Ukraine, very much drone wars. Mm-hmm.
Couldn't AI, even in this moment, just with the technology that we have before us, be used in some fairly destructive ways?
You can make a swarm of assassin drones for very little money by just taking the Face ID chip that's used in cell phones and having a small explosive charge and a standard drone, and have them just do a grid sweep of the building until they find the person they're looking for, ram into them and explode. You can do that right now. No new technology is needed.
That's weird, because I literally told you that 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when we were showing the swarm bots. Not that weird movie that came out that was talking about that exact thing, but I was talking about the ones that MIT came up with and some other university came up with, where there were literally, I mean, this was 11 years ago. They were just starting to show us what they had, and we've never seen them show it again. But these things were literally autonomous, so they were like bees, basically. They didn't need somebody. They just set them on a mission. Go get Richie from Boston. He's in a hotel room, and apparently his bathroom light goes off on a 15-minute timer. When that timer goes out, come through the window and hit him. No one will ever know what happened. There'll be no evidence left because it will self-destruct. He's literally talking about the stuff that I was telling you about 11 years ago, but it was a conspiracy theory. It's not real. It's not true. It's nothing to see here, folks. Keep it moving. You see what I mean? It's unbelievable to me. Absolutely unbelievable to me that we're living in this right now. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't know what that means either. I'm well aware. I've said that quite often, quite a lot of times. I just find it strange that literally, Elon, Trump, Baron Trump going to Mars, Tesla, everything is in all sorts of old ancient writings, man. That is an absolute trip. Don't give him any Derby. I don't care, brother. Honestly, to be at this point, I don't care. I've gotten to see. That's not nice, Darren. That's not nice. I find it humorous though, but that's not nice. Yeah. I don't. That doesn't do anything for me because one actor meeting another actor on another stage doesn't do anything. They're all in the same. They're all in the same troop, man. They're all in the same troop. Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to. I don't know. It ain't here yet. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means either. But look at this. This is what you should have been getting ready for because they're going to hit the banks. They're going to wipe out your bank accounts. Everything's going to be gone. And for some reason, apparently, it's time for the U.S. to revalue its gold reserves, which means gold is going to shoot up exponentially higher. I mean, we're talking ridiculous amounts. You know what I mean? Because the dollar is going down, and then they're going to hack it, etc. But they're literally going to reshuffle the deck right now. And literally, if you were smart, get your money out of the bank right now. Right away, as fast as humanly possible. I've told you this before, and I'm telling you again, seriously, get your money out of the bank before they do it for you. And for the people that listened to me last year, their gold is now worth twice what it was worth. Do you see what I'm saying? It's actually becoming worth what it should be worth with the national debt where it's at. So there you go. Little something I told you about a long time ago. And when I heard about this, I hit up Dave Morgan, who is somebody I just met up with. And I said, Dave, explain this to me as succinctly as you can in a nutshell what this means. And this is what he said. I asked him to do it in a nutshell, but that's an awfully big nutshell. You see what I mean? But that's how he rolls. So he said, if the Fed, I said, Dave, in a nutshell, Fed revaluation of gold means prices up and dollar tanking. He said, if the Federal Reserve were to revalue gold to 15,000 per troy ounce, 15,000, it wouldn't be just a bold monetary move. It would be a seismic event signaling the collapse of the confidence in the current fiat system. This wouldn't happen in a vacuum. Such a revaluation would ripple across the foreign exchange markets, global trade, and investor psychology, triggering a cascade of repricing in every major asset class. This is how he talks. It's crazy. As far as silver, it would likely experience the most explosive repricing of all. The immediate message of a gold revaluation to $15,000 is clear. The U.S. dollar, and by extension, the fiat system, has lost credibility. We already knew that. What comes next would likely be a coordinated global adjustment, something akin to a new Bretton Woods. Nations would be forced to acknowledge the repricing and recalibrate their monetary systems. That's because if only the U.S. revalues gold and no one else does, trade imbalances would become unworkable. But while gold might serve as a central bank's tool to restore credibility, silver would become the people's best hedge. So there's some free financial advice right there from someone that actually does this for a living, unlike an asshole with a laptop. So big things are happening. Seriously. Elon Musk is trying to mess around with El Chapo's ex-girlfriend. What could possibly go wrong? Elon Musk is apparently so coordinated or kicking it with the cartels that people can actually pull up all this information and do entire podcasts on it. All the while, Trump is saying, we're going to send drones over there. We're getting ready to go after the cartels. Okay, cool. We're going to go after the cartels. even though every single politician got rich off allowing cartels for almost my entire life to flood the country with drugs, which brought us where we're at. Pharmacia took this country down. Pharmacia made people worry about their mental health. I'm hungry, I'm horny, I'm angry, I'm tired. Those are the 4 feelings you should have. That's it. Anything else, you have my mental health. Yeah, you're no help to anybody. Period. That's my opinion. The horny part, I got rid of. The angry part, I'm working on. But we're living in this right now, and all the moves that need to be made are being made. How many times has Trump deployed troops on the ground since the beginning of this year? It's only the 8th month, and I mean now in DC. DC's bad, but they don't care, man. They don't care. They're just circling the camp right now because something is underneath that White House. That White House is older than we think it is, I'm guessing. And something very important is underneath that White House. And the fact that Trump is literally having them re-raise the Albert Pike statue that got taken down during the BLM riots. Remember the BLM riots? Those riots were powerful because somehow those riots, those people were so angry, they were just the right amount of angry that they were allowed to go around and rip down what was, our nation's history. It is what it is. But they were also so darn angry that they couldn't get sick from COVID. None of the COVID restrictions applied to them. But when they were doing what they were doing, sponsored by George Soros and other entities, they pulled down the was it Manly P. Hall? Yes. Was it? I just said it and I already forgot it. Yeah, they're putting it back up. Trump's putting that back up. He's putting federal troops and National Guard in the streets of DC because one person got beat up. Didn't get killed, got beat up. That's it. Albert Pike. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's hard to remember everything. Plus, the more I talk, my nose gets stuffed up. I don't know what that's called, but I have it. So it is what it is. But these guys are making moves right now and revaluating the gold. That's going to cause an enormous explosion, period. And they're going to literally hack the banks because they're going to force you into the system, and they're going to do it like weather modification. We didn't steal your retirement, your 401k, every single cent you have in the bank. We didn't do that. It was hackers. Probably that darn North Korea, or maybe it was China, or it could have been Russians, or it could have just been AI. AI hit God mode and decided that money was the root of all evil, so nobody needs money. Everyone will be on a social credit system. I wish you could see my mic? It keeps doing this, and it's sliding down. It's very distracting, and it makes the room change colors somehow. That's a trip. Whatever. At any rate, things are happening. It's literally speeding up, apparently. It's literally speeding up. Revaluating gold, man. That's a first for me. Troops on the ground, that's not new. They're talking about literally attacking Mexico, which doesn't make any difference. I'm not saying that if you're a Mexican or whatever. I mean, it is what it is. What that's going to do is they'll say they're attacking Mexico, and then all of a sudden we're going to start having roadside bombs, IEDs, shootings over the border, incursions into the country. They're just going to stir this up like we ain't never seen before. And if you can't feel it coming, I don't know what else to tell you. Really don't. The only reason I'm doing this live stream is because I'm hitting the road. I haven't been behind the wheel in days, and I'm actually missing it. And I don't like being this far into California. I'm down where it's hot. I don't dig when it's hot. You see what I'm saying? At any rate, get your money out of the bank or talk to Dave Morgan from the Morgan Report. I'll leave links below. JTIG, RJCJR10 @yahoo.com. What you said in the comments, I responded, but email that stuff, man. If there's some way I can help you out, I'll try, but I'm not in the best position in life right now. But I'll try. At any rate, Yeah, I don't know what boron is. I'm good. And believe it or not, I don't take medical advice from comment sections, and nobody should, because a lot of people think a lot of things, and a lot of things ain't real. So it is what it is. Richie from Boston. It's been an hour.